When I first started out at a law firm, the only thing I wanted to do was show up, do well, and become this amazing lawyer that I had been dreaming about becoming for the last 3 years. But I quickly realized that I didn't actually know how to do that. And more confusingly, no one at the law firm seemed interested in teaching me how. In fact, there were zero training sessions, there was zero introduction to the substantive law that we were practicing, and zero walkthrough of the tasks that I was being asked to do. And that was really bizarre to me because all through law school, we kept hearing how the law firms are going to be the ones to train you in the law and how to practice as a lawyer. And that was not happening at all. In fact, my training consisted of getting my computer login details and being told the client matter number to bill my work to. Hey guys, it's Angela, and this video is for those of you who are heading into your first job as a new lawyer and want the real talk on what to expect, because I absolutely believe that every new law student and every new lawyer deserves to know exactly how the system works so that you can build a lawyering life on your own terms. So if you've ever wondered why law firms don't train their junior associates, we're going to walk through my hot take on the 5 reasons I have seen this to be the case. And so if you want to make sure to never miss another video, definitely hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and you'll be notified every time a new video goes live. And if you are really serious about taking that next step to find out if the lawyering life is for you, don't forget to check out the What Type of Lawyer Should I Be quiz. It's intentionally designed to give you a window into the best fit type of law for you, and I'll make sure to include that link in the description below. And without further ado, let's dive in. Reason number 1, no one trained me and I turned out fine. And I remember hearing this from partners and associates over the years, and it completely disregards some really important realities, which are, number 1, maybe you weren't fine as a junior associate and you're just choosing to misremember that. Or 2, just because something has been done the same way for decades and decades and decades doesn't mean that's the best way to do it. Or C, the fact that we're on the same team and it benefits you, the partner, to train me, the associate, so I can give you exactly what it is that you need. Reason number 2, most law firm partners don't remember what it was like to be a first-year associate, and they don't try to. I remember encountering this over and over where the partner would just assume that I would know things and would just assume that I had the exact same experiences and the exact same knowledge base as they did when they were assigning me different projects and different tasks. And it didn't occur to me that they weren't communicating everything I needed to know because I didn't know that they thought that I knew things that I didn't know. And so this comes up over and over and over where there's this assumption of knowledge or this assumption of experience based purely on the fact that they themselves have that knowledge or have that experience. And so if law firm partners intentionally put themselves back into the shoes of themselves as a first-year associate, it would open the doors for a lot more instructive mentoring and training because they would remember how little they knew when they started out, which is essentially zero. Reason number 3, they don't have the time. Every lawyer I worked with was on a daily basis underwater with billing hours, and they were trying to walk into the office in the morning and leave the office at night and hit the billable hours, the work that they needed to do for that day. And associate training is not something you can bill hours for. And so any moments of time that a partner would allocate to training an associate is theoretically lost time for them. And so from a very practical standpoint, I can understand why law firm partners are reluctant to take any time at all to train associates, because that takes time out of their day. That means they either have to come in earlier or they have to stay later. But I think the important thing to realize here is that there's also an ROI for the law firm partner, meaning when a partner takes the time to explain a project to an associate or the way that they want work product presented to them, they are then able to benefit from that explanation with projects and tasks going forward. Because yes, the first time does take time to explain and break down, but every subsequent time after that, they no longer have to teach that one piece and they no longer have to send work back with really, really heavy edits because the associate is very clear on what the partner wants. Reason number 4, there's an expectation that you'll learn on the job. And this is definitely the way it has worked for the last decades, a dozen, hundreds of times, as long as it's been going on. And so I think maybe there's this assumption that if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I would argue that it is broke, because when you start out as a junior associate and nobody's telling you what to do, there's this intense feeling of anxiety all of the time. And I remember feeling like I was afraid that I was committing malpractice every moment of every day because I had no idea what I was doing. And that I was afraid of getting fired every moment of every day because I knew that I was making mistakes, but I didn't know what else to do. And so just in terms of associate turnover, having a really solid plan in place to train and to mentor and to break down into tangible pieces the tasks that we as young associates are expected to do would go so incredibly far. Not to mention the incredible inefficiencies that are happening where the style of training is just to try something, trip, fall on your face, and then do it differently next time without much feedback as to how to actually make those changes. And so I think that it can really be a win-win on both sides, where young associates are given much more specific direction and partners are able to get the work product that they really need. Reason number 5, they're not good at it. And I hesitate to say this because I don't mean to imply that law firms couldn't be good at it. It's just that in order to create a really valuable junior associate training program, it takes time, energy, and focus, which are 3 things that law firm partners and senior associates do not have. And so I remember a perfect example of this. When I was a third-year associate, the law firm I was working at tried to institute a junior lawyer training program. And the way that this thing was going to work was that we were going to come together firm-wide once a month for 3 hours for 6 months. And for each of these 6 training sessions, a different law firm partner was going to present on a topic of their choice. And in theory, these topics were designed to help junior associates in their practice. But what wound up happening was that the partners who gave these different training sessions really just focused on the thing that was top of mind for them in their practice. And so as an example, one of the partners was teaching how to give an opening statement in a jury trial, which is really interesting. But also, as a third-year associate, I was at least 10 years away from ever giving an opening statement in any trial. And so they would give us these huge notebooks and binders filled with hundreds of pages, as if we would ever have time to read any of that in our day-to-day, and nothing focused on how to actually tangibly do the projects and tasks that we were being assigned on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. And so even when law firms try, and I think that they have the best of intentions in mind, they really don't have that one person whose job it is to critically and thoroughly think through what would really move the needle for junior associates. How would this really help them become better lawyers in the phase of practice where they are right now? So I know that building out a junior associate training program is not something that you personally can do when you first step foot into the law firm, but there are definitely strategic and intentional steps you can take to build out your reputation, your expertise, and your confidence in that first year of lawyering. So I will link to a playlist in the description below that talks through how to build that legal career on your own terms. And if you guys haven't yet, definitely take the What Type of Lawyer Should I Be quiz. It will give you a window into not only the substantive law that would be a perfect fit for you, but also that personal lifestyle piece so you can see where those 2 overlap. And if you guys are interested in more videos like this one, definitely hit the subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and you'll be notified when the next video goes live. So I'll see you guys there, and I cannot wait.